If you like our video, click the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel and get easy access to new content. To see our full suite of ad-free video courses and training materials, visit us at teachucomp.com. To open the vendors page in QuickBooks Online, click the Expenses link in the navigation bar. Then click the Vendors tab at the top of the page that opens to the right. Alternatively, hover over the Expenses link in the navigation bar, and then roll over and click the Vendors link in the side menu that appears to also open the same page. After you add vendors, they appear in a vendors list in this page. You will also see a Prepare 1099s, Pay Bills, Order Checks drop-down button, and a New Vendor Import Vendors button in the upper right corner of this page. To add a new vendor to the vendors list, if you haven't already added vendors yet, click the Add Vendor Manually button to open a vendor information window. To add a vendor if you already have vendors added, instead click the New Vendor button to open the same vendor information window. In the vendor information window, enter the vendor's name into the title, first name, middle name, last name, and suffix fields. Then enter the vendor's company name into the company field. Use the Display Name As drop-down to choose how to show the vendor's name in your lists and forms. Below the Display Name As drop-down is a Print on Checks As field. To use the display name as the name to print on your checks to this vendor, check the Use Display Name checkbox. To use a different name, uncheck the checkbox and enter the name to print on checks into the adjacent field. Enter the vendor's address into the street, city, town, state, province, zip code, and country fields within the address field set. Clicking the adjacent map link opens a new page and shows the address you entered in an online map. Enter any notes for this vendor into the Notes field. If you have multi-currency enabled, you can select the vendor's currency when creating a new vendor. To attach a file to the vendor's record up to 20 megabytes in size, either drag and drop a file to attach onto the Drag Drop Files Here or click the icon field, or click the Attachments paperclip icon. If you click the icon, use the browser's dialog box that appears to find and select the file to upload and attach. In the upper right corner of the window, enter the vendor's email into the email field. You can enter the vendor's phone numbers into the three fields for phone, mobile, and fax. You can enter another phone number into the other field. You can enter the vendor's website into the website field. You can enter a billing rate for this vendor into the billing rate per hour field if applicable. The next field is a drop-down where you can select the payment terms for this vendor. To create new payment terms if needed, select the Add New choice from the drop-down menu to open a new term window where you can create the new terms and then click the Save button to save the new terms. If entering a vendor to whom you owed money for bills already received as of the start date of your company file, enter the amount you owed and the start date of the company file into the Opening Balance and As Of fields. For vendor records that you create after starting your QuickBooks company file, you will leave these two fields blank as the amount you owe to those vendors will be recorded by the bills you enter to track your payables. If you have an account number with the vendor, you can enter that into the Account Number field. This value appears in the Memo field of all vendor payments. If needed, enter the vendor's tax ID or Social Security number into the Business ID Number, Social Security Number field. To track the vendor's payments for the 1099 form, check the Track Payments for 1099 checkbox. To set a default expense account for purchases from this vendor, select it from the Default Expense Account drop-down. When finished, click the Save button in the lower right corner of the window to save the vendor record into the vendors list and return to the vendors page. Remember to click the subscribe button to see more of our videos. Get ad-free courses at teachucomp.com.